Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Today's video is going to talk about an active period that's coming up from this weekend well into December, I think. And I'm not expecting wintry precipitation really for big cities or anything like that until we get into December. I could be wrong, but I just don't see that yet. But up in New England, there's definitely a shot starting late this weekend, early next week. Let's dive right into it here, see what's going on. The pattern is changing. We talked about it changing over the last couple weeks, but now I'm really seeing evidence that hopefully my ideas are starting to come to fruition. It's on the maps, now it just has to actually come into reality. So let's see what happens here. So starting this week, just to show the surface map, we had this storm that came through yesterday, dumped a lot of rain in some areas. We have this nice little snowstorm that's going to come through the Midwest here in the plains as we get into Friday and Saturday. And what's going to happen is this is going to run into a lot of high pressure to the north. And because of the blocking that we're going to currently have develop over Greenland, if I show you right here, as you can see, there's some blocking developing over Greenland as the storm comes in. This is going to redevelop off the coast. You can see all this energy consolidating underneath this block. So what happens is you're going to have this storm basically cut up in, let me actually show you the precipitation here. You have this storm actually cut up inland and then try to go negative, meaning the trough's going to go negative and try to spin some precipitation back into the northeast, where there could be actually several inches of snow to fall, say, in western New York State, mountains of Pennsylvania, up into maybe parts of Vermont as we get into late Sunday, early Monday. And you can actually see the evolution of that here. So here comes the storm, cuts in, and it redevelops. Once that trough tilts negative due to the blocking, you get some energy off the Atlantic here, and you get a nice little precipitation event that could be wintry for the interior. And you can see the model right now is showing some snowfall accumulations, actually quite significant in the Adirondack Mountains, and this definitely could happen. I don't think it's going to make it down to near the coastal areas at all. Maybe a flurry, maybe, but I don't even think that's going to happen. I think this will be mainly an inland event. But the action really then starts in following this period. So what's going to happen is, let's go to the upper atmosphere here, and I'll show you guys the kind of blocking that I expect to develop and that the models expect to develop. And here I'm showing you the GFS, but all the models are showing it, and it matches what I expected for the seasonal evolution this year. So if we go to the GFS ensemble, take a look over Greenland and the poles. Red is high pressure. So as we progress into the longer term period, all this high pressure and blocking develops over the pole and over Greenland. Now this could be a very, very interesting pattern, especially when we get into meteorological winter, which is December 1st. What happens is this kind of squashes a lot of the cold air south. Now it's not frigidly cold, but it squashes the jet stream south. So you have an active storm track to the south, you have warm and cold air barriers, and a lot can happen. And the first thing I'm going to be looking at, guys, is the week of Thanksgiving, believe it or not. So as we get into the week of Thanksgiving, we're going to have to really watch here, as we could have a situation where a storm system wants to develop somewhere in the plains or Ohio Valley, run into high pressure again, and redevelop off the coast. Now, we have a signature here that I like to look at. So we have blocking, which is a negative NAO. We have a ridge over Greenland. We then have another little trough or low pressure area under the coordinates 50-50, which usually is an important thing because it results in confluence, which means high pressure develops at the surface. And you can actually see, if I look at the pressure map here, and I scroll down, you can see there's a high pressure area to the surface. Here's a low developing over the country, and we're going to have to see, do we have a situation here where we have another redeveloping low off of New England where the interiors get some snows? And I think it can happen. It has, and this is an ensemble mean, so it's not the actual model. I'll show you the actual model, what it's showing from last night here. And you'll be able to see that it is showing the possibility for storm to develop around Thanksgiving and potentially give either rain or snow to New England. Now this could be north or south here. I don't think this gets anywhere near New Jersey or Connecticut or southern Massachusetts, but you know, up in the Green Mountains in New York State, maybe a little further south, we really have to keep an eye on this, guys, for Thanksgiving Day to see if we really do get that storm to develop. And again, it's not going to be an awful lot of cold air in front of it, but there will be some cold air, depending on if we can get any of this high pressure to lock in where it's definitely in play. So exciting period coming up, especially when we get to December. I think this year, guys, is going to be a lot different than the last 2 years for December. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Thanks for checking in.